Squishy means money.
And a winner, new KARE pie fillings with big chunks of apples, cherries, blueberries, and peaches in those old-fashioned KARE jars. Now, I don't have to spend hours in the kitchen to get that made-from-scratch taste.
Jean, this is delicious. You deserve a blue ribbon for this pie.
Made from scratch taste, new KARE pie fillings.
There seems to be some confusion about the PB and new PB Max. It don't stand for Piggy Banks, Platinum Blonde, Pink Baboon. Don't mean polka band or portly ballerina. PB means peanut butter, real peanut butter, lots of real peanut butter, in pure milk chocolate with the crunch of a whole grain cookie. Now that's maximum satisfaction. Even if you're as wholesome as a plowboy, that's pure bliss. Look for 6 packs of PB Max. We mean peanut butter.
Paul Majors on KARE 11 News.
And welcome to Between Friends. And I'm Colleen Lopez, and it is great to have you with us today. We want those of you watching at home to stop what you're doing, put your feet up, sit back, relax, leave the dishes in the sink where they belong,
Definitely.
leave the wash in the washing machine, and just take an hour out for you, because we really do have some great things planned for you.
That's right. One of those great things is going to be a little later in the show. We have some female police officers here in the studio, and every time I see a female police officer doing their job, it always crosses my mind to think, what kind of special woman wants that job, and what does it take to keep that job? A lot of grit, I think, so we're going to find out about that.
Absolutely. Talk about challenges. We have something here on Between Friends called our Walk a Mile Challenge. And I have to tell you, I'm right now, there you're seeing me at the Heartthrob Cafe in downtown St. Paul, and hey now, don't laugh, this is my first time on rollerblades. Give me a break here. I almost did break in something, actually. But what we do, what Walk a Mile is all about, we take on your job for an afternoon or for a day.
That's right.
And it's an interesting experience. You'll see more of that a little bit later on in the show today.
Yes, and we took to the streets to check out what people are really wearing. I mean real people fashion. You may even find yourself on this tape, so you're going to want to check in for that.
Don't you love that? One of my favorite things, you go downtown and you just sit in the Skyway and do people watching.
The whole world walks by in the Skyways.
It's great.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Also, if you would like to be a member of our studio audience, Colleen and I would love to have you come and join us. And all of you here today, thank you for coming. We have a Between Friends number you can call for tickets, 593-9211. And as you see on the bottom,
licensed child care provided. Moms of Minnesota, listen up. We have a marvelous partnership with Club Kid. They will provide free child care for our studio audience members, and this is kids' paradise. The only problem, moms, when you drop your kids off at Club Kid, then you go to pick them up later, they don't want to come home. They say, forget it, Mom. We like it here. It's great. See, they have Nintendo and Play-Doh and the whole 9 yards. It's great fun. So if you would like to come and visit us here in the studio, as you call in to reserve your free tickets, just mention that you'd like to take advantage of the child care.
Cute picture.
Isn't that fun? And we will fill you in on all the information that you need. They are located in the Ridgedale Square South.
Rosedale, also,
Rosedale.
And there's one other, there it is.
And Edina. Yeah. So call us up, ask about child care, and we'll, again, let you know just exactly how that works. That is a great time out for your children. First thing we're going to do today is we're going to talk about time out for moms out there. And it doesn't matter if you're a mom of a newborn baby or if you're a mom of a teenager. We all have days when we want to just sit back, plunk back in a chair and go, Calgon, take me away.
And sometimes, you know, the whole box isn't enough. One dash won't do it. You need a lot of take me away.
Sometimes my husband says, Calgon, take her away and keep her. We don't want her around here anymore. But I think, you know, it is funny. And if you can relate to this, as a matter of fact, a lot of moms in Minnesota can relate to this. We went out into the Twin Cities and asked them how they feel about getting that time out. And here's what they had to say.
I think it's really important to get away from kids once in a while, just for your own sanity.
They're home alone with their kids all day, and they kind of get mom burnout.
My husband and I, he runs his business
out of our home, so he's home with the kids all the time. So he needs to get away from them, and I need to get away with him because we need to spend time together.
Mothers are used to putting themselves last, and it's time we start taking care of ourselves.
I think moms need time away from their children just to refresh themselves, and it's good for the kids too.
I think it improves your attitude towards your children if you're away from them for a while.
Oh, isn't that the truth, though?
Dads need those breaks, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Betty Leah Holberg is here with us, and she is an assistant professor in the School of Public Health at the University of Minnesota, and Betty's going to give us some ideas on how to build some strategies to get yourself those breaks you need. Please join us in welcoming Betty to the show.
Hi, Betty. Welcome.
Welcome, Betty. Nice to have you with us today. Now, you're a mother of 5, so you can relate to this when moms feel as though we are up to here. Is that normal to sometimes get those feelings?
Oh, very normal, and I think that women that you talked to earlier really emphasize that a great deal. I think particularly for young moms, it's very difficult having a new baby.
Yeah.
It's difficult to get some time to plan for yourself. And I think many times before people have children, they should really start thinking about some ways that they can plan for child care ahead of time.
There you go. Now, that's kind of what I'd like to talk about a little bit, because there's many stages of being a mom, and you're touching now even planning on how you're going to build in some time for yourself before you even have that newborn baby.
Right. A lot of times in expectant parents classes, I think we talk about what-if situations. What if your baby is sick and you need to get up and go back to work? What if you wake up, I have been awake all night, 3 o'clock in the morning, and this child just won't stop screaming and hollering? What do you do in those kinds of situations? Ideally, it's nice if you got a partner that can help participate in being a parent, but not every mother is. We have some single moms, and I think that's more difficult for them.
But get dad involved if you can, and if your husband can help out, that's important then.
Right.
With the newborn.
I think many times dads are very reluctant to get involved, so often they need suggestions from the mom. Come on, let's try this, and do you want to do the relief bottle feeding for the baby? I think it's more difficult for moms who are breastfeeding because often they feel much more tied down with a new baby. But again, all babies should have at least one relief bottle, and that's an excellent one for dads to give to the new baby.
That's great advice. It is. It's important because I think a lot of times a new mom she wants to take it all on herself, and you just have to prepare and let yourself know that, hey, you can't do everything.
And dads are trying to participate more now anyway. I mean, I think they feel more comfortable with that role.
Oh, I think they really do. And I think just with expectant parents classes and classes for new parents, MELD, which is a Twin Cities organization, really encourages moms and dads to come together. And I think for moms to get out by themselves, and that's not just to go to the grocery store, it's to get out and have some quality time.
I would like to move into now the toddler age moms, because as I understand, they are different stresses once your children are preschool age. Is that right?
Right. I think once children start moving around and become more mobile, it's much more difficult. When they're smaller, you can put them in a crib or a playpen and they stay there. Whereas
they sleep a lot too when they're
right. And as they get older, it's just a lot more difficult. They're into things and they take so much more time and energy, and mothers are often tired. You sort of fall into bed at night. So it's even more important that you get some exercise and you get, in fact, exercise, I think moms say, well, I get enough exercise.
That's what I'm thinking. They think that is exercise, but what kind of exercise is different from that are you recommending?
Well, I think one of the things I used to do and we recommended to our moms was when some of the programs are on TV plug, to put your shorts on or put your jeans on and just do the exercises right along. Or if the father comes home at night, just say, I need a few minutes, and 15 minutes out for a little walk around the block.
Something that really gets your heart pumping and kind of cleans the cobwebs out.
Sounds like you're saying to almost schedule that time in. Now, I did want to touch on the teenage moms, of course, too, because obviously it's a whole new ball game once your children are teenagers, I would imagine.
Oh, I think that for many parents, that's probably the most difficult time of kids having much more demands, many more responsibilities, and so often I think it's things that you can do for that is to share carpooling, share activities. Many times
you had a neat idea about a party.
Well, I think many times if parents are more concerned about their teenagers being out at night and what they're going to be doing in the cars and driving, that often parents can take turns having parties at their house, and that way you can sort of structure what the activities are going to be for the teenagers.
I like that idea. So the parents of the friends that are teenagers sort of network together, make sure that you know where all the kids are at any given night or whatever.
Be sure you talk to each other, and often parents get to know one another when their children are playing hockey or other school activities. So I think it's
some freedom for the kid too. They feel like they're having a party, but yet you're comfortable with the way it's supervised.
Right.
Well, Betty, please come back and visit us anytime. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thanks for all your good advice.
Parenting's very important, and I think we really don't give enough time and energy to being good parents.
You're inspiring. It's a real job.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Betty. And right after this, I took to the streets with our videographer Dave, and we're going to show you what we came up with.
If you or someone you love has been seriously injured in a car or motorcycle accident, the results can be devastating. At times like these, you need an attorney. Call the Injury Helpline. Talk to an attorney near you for free, one who will explain your legal rights and costs. There are no attorney fees unless you receive payment for your injuries. The insurance companies have attorneys working hard on their side, and so should you. Call 1-800-533-2700.
Hello, Maria, I'd love to see you. Meet me up at Taco Bell, oh please, Maria. You love those tacos for just $59. Burritos and tostados, oh me, oh my. Let's get a sack full, get them to go, and watch the sunset like we did so long ago. Let's make a run, 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 run for the border.
Making a simple phone call isn't always simple for the deaf and hearing impaired, but new technology and the DEAF relay service are making it easier.
Hi, I have a call for you from a hearing impaired caller. Hi, Renee. It's great to talk to you.
A lot of good things are bringing the deaf and hearing communities closer together. Things like closed captioning on KARE 11 News. NewsScribe 11 for the deaf and hearing impaired communities is funded in part by NSP.
Magazines are telling us that we're supposed to be buying and supposed to be wearing. We thought it would be fun to get our videographer Dave Unsinger and take the Between Friends camera to the streets. And in this case, we went to a skyway in downtown Minneapolis and shot some real people looking really great. And this is what we came up with. Here we go. This first woman, believe it or not, is interviewing for a job with that guy she's with. We caught her mid-interview. This is her interview suit, and we like it. This is a job in advertising she's going for. This is a good-looking black suit. She said she felt comfortable. She felt assured. This was something that she wanted to make the job impression with, and I'd love to know if she got the job.
Yeah.
This woman, we love the way she looks because look how comfortable she is, and I love her splashy red shoes. I feel like everybody ought to have a pair of red shoes. Red shoes make your life go better. This is the nautical look, a soft suit, if you will, because it's a long cardigan sweater with a matching skirt, but still very soft and comfortable, something that you could wear all day long.
Love that.
And red, 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 red. Isn't this smashing? This is a coat dress. Notice the length also. This woman works in management in an insurance company, and she said this is the length that she feels comfortable wearing. I love her short hair. You're probably seeing a lot of short hair in the magazines, and it's functional, it's fashionable, and she just looks really put together.
She does look terrific.
Now, you want to be casual sometime. We spotted this girl going through the skyway in her jeans, her moccasins, her leather jacket. I like the scarf. We thought the scarf was a fun fashion touch. If you've been looking in the magazines, you've been seeing a lot of scarves. The fun thing is that she owns her own medical testing office, and this was a day off. She was in the office working, but no patients, so she wore this to work that day. This is a fun way for a young guy to look snappy. You know, he's got a business suit on, but this is not your power suit. This is your fun suit. This guy's only 19 years old. But look at this fun dotted tie he has on, the double-breasted look.
He's loving the attention.
Very fashion forward. Yeah, we liked him too. He was really, really nice. And here's a couple. We thought, gosh, you know, what would the world be without couples? This couple's kind of what I call an uptown feeling. He's got his jeans jacket on, his khaki pants. She's got a cute little dotted chiffon skirt with this long jacket. They're both students, by the way, and this is the way that they dress every day, but yet to have a little fun with fashion, a little flair. And I love the floral pants on this woman. Now, this is the way that you can bring a softness. I think for a lot of businesswomen, you don't have to have that hard edge anymore. Notice she's got pearls around her neck, Colleen. Very feminine, very pretty, soft hair, and yet very businesslike, very ready for work.
Great stuff. I love that.
We don't want to leave the guys out.
Certainly not.
Look at this guy. He's got his cardigan sweater on and his tie and a pink shirt. Pretty
Look
in
at him
pink.
smile.
Real
He's
men
just
can wear
having a
pink.
ball.
Yeah, don't we like that smile? The cardigan sweater was appropriate for him to be able to wear the office. It shows that some of the restraints on men are loosening up just a little bit too. They don't always have to have on the suit. Now, you see that jacket as we went by.
Cute
That
boots.
jacket, we'll get back to it, is a drawstring jacket. That is the hottest jacket in all the fashion magazines right now. She's got her cowboy boots on, her jeans, again a scarf at the neck, again the short hair. This woman has it all going on, all happening, but yet you wouldn't call her trendy. You just say she looks great.
Yeah,
So she can
comfortable.
pull all those things out next year.
I love it.
You know,
Easy
nothing is
going,
really out of style. This couple's funny. They work together. They were just getting to know each other. I think something's going to be up between these couples. Because we stood there listening to them chat, and they said, well, we haven't dated yet.
The love connection.
That's
on
right.
Between Friends.
We're putting people together. She's got on a coat dress. He left his suit jacket back at the office, but he looks good in his tie and his easy shirt. This woman is fun. Her personality matched her clothes. In talking to her, she loves to have fun with her clothes. She loves color. She still has a very feminine shape in this dress.
Confident.
And she loves life. And so you can be very feminine and still be businesslike at the same time.
That's
and
inspiring.
that's what we found out.
Hey,
Wasn't that
Twin
fun?
Cities, we look you guys look terrific.
I wasn't surprised at all. There were so many people that we could have shot that we couldn't grab them fast enough. There were so many great looking people. But real fashion is what we're talking about. And I think that's all what we're looking for.
Yeah, it's fun to look through the magazines, but a lot of times we're not going to go out and buy those exact outfits you see. Maybe just pick up hints and then do your own thing.
This is what everybody interpreted.
Great, I love it. Thank you for that. When we come back, you're going to be meeting some female police officers who work right here in the Twin Cities, so stay tuned. Also, want to remind you the KARE 11 Health Fair is going on, and here's some information about that.
What about it? Are you a bench warmer? Instead of working out and shaping up, do you just sit on the sidelines warming the bench or the sofa? If you do, then it's time for a change. I know getting started on a workout program is hard, but I'm gonna make it easy on you. I'm gonna give you a chance to try out the best fitness club in town, US Swim & Fitness, without spending a penny. If you call this number now, you can get a 2-week trial membership absolutely free. That's right, free. We've offered this trial membership before for $9.95, but if you call now, it's free. You can come as many times as you want over 2 weeks and try everything out. The exercise machinery, the free weights, the pool, the whirlpool, the aerobic classes, the racquetball, everything. So get off the bench and get in on the action by calling now. When you stop being a bench warmer, you'll find there's no substitute for being in shape.
You probably know that the flavor of extra sugar-free gum lasts an extra long time. But you know what I discovered? Extra Winter Fresh. It gives my breath a freshness it's never had before. It keeps my breath winter fresh an extra long time. After all, what good is fresh breath if it doesn't last?
Keep your breath winter fresh an extra long time.
On the next Cosby Show.
The hottest chili peppers on the face of the earth.
Cliff fires up his famous 4-alarm chili.
Can I have a taste? When you taste this, your face will go, you'll say, ah, and flames will be shooting out of your face.
If you can't stand the heat, stay out of the chili. Hot stuff on the Cosby Show.
Monday at 4:30 on KARE 11.
jobs are more challenging than that of a police officer. I think it's always impressive to see a woman on the job because it's safe to say that it is definitely a male-dominated profession. Today we're going to explore some of the challenges that the women who are police officers here in the Twin City experience. I'd like you first to meet Stacy Niebauer. Stacy has been a police officer for 2.5 years. She works for the Minneapolis Police Force. Her father was actually a 20-year veteran police officer in Minneapolis, and she has received a Medal of Valor. Welcome. Next to Stacy, we have we have Lori Hodap. And Lori is a Minnesota State Trooper. She is married, recently married. Yes. Congratulations, and it's great to have you with us.
Thank you.
Next to Lori, we have Grace Tester. Grace works in the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office. She is a single parent. She has one son, and we're glad to have you with us today, Grace. And finally, we have our own Gail Pawaki. Gail, of course, of KARE 11 News. Gail has been a reporter for 4 years, but prior to that, she worked for 8 years as a police officer here in Minnesota. And I'd like everybody, please, to welcome our guest to the show today. Now, Gail, let me start with you. What, out of all the jobs a woman can choose, what made you decide to become a police officer?
I guess that I'd like to say that it was because it was exciting, or because I wanted to help people, or that I wanted to accomplish something and overcome some of the stereotypes of women in professions. But that's simply not true. I took the job because it was the one job where I could work side by side with men and get paid the same.
Really?
Yeah. It was I graduated from college, I applied for jobs in advertising, in public relations, and in business, and I constantly was being offered positions as secretaries. So when I went to look at police work, I found out that I would work side by side in the field with men, doing the same thing that they were doing. I would be paid the same, and that it was illegal for them in this public domain to discriminate against me in my pay and my assignments. And so I was just thrilled with the idea.
That's a great motivation. One that, as you say, you would not expect, but that's great to hear.
It was wonderful.
How about you? Stacy, how about you? Now, I know you've only been, what, 2.5 years you've been on the force?
Right.
Now, why did you decide to go into police work?
The field just interested me. I've been around it. Like you said, my father was a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it just looked exciting, and the pay was reasonably well at the time.
So far, has it met your expectations so far?
Yes, it has. It's a fun job, I think.
Okay. Lori, how about you? Now, you work as a Minnesota State Trooper. Correct. A little bit different.
A little bit, yes.
And how long have you been doing this?
About 6 years now.
About 6 years. Mm-hmm. And what originally attracted you to this kind of work?
Well, I didn't decide on the line of work until I was actually a senior in college.
Really?
And my intention was always to go into law school, but I was a little low on cash at that time.
Sure.
So I took a look at, obviously the law interested me, and I had a police emphasis in college, so I tried to get on with the patrol and obviously succeeded. And the one thing I've found that is really of interest to me is you're out there doing your own thing. You really are your own boss, and you make independent decisions, and what you decide is how things are. It's wonderful, and of course the pay is probably more than the average woman makes.
That's what I'm gathering. I'm gathering the independent part and kind of doing your own thing, but obviously the money is a big motivation in this job for you guys.
Yes, it is.
That's interesting. What I'd like to talk about is your style, and your style, I guess, as compared to your male counterparts. Many of us who watch TV, when we think of a female cop, we think of Cagney and Lacey, for example. I would like to show you a clip from Cagney and Lacey, and I'd like to show it to you at home as well, and then get your reaction to the style. Now, this is a piece actually where Chris Cagney is trying to reason with this teenage drug dealer in order to save a little boy's life. Take a look.
She's a cop, Willie. We got nothing to talk about.
Yeah, we do, Willie. Kevin Taggart, missing kid, 8 years old. You were seen with him.
Kevin who? Hey, I never heard of him.
Wait a minute, I'm not finished with you.
Well, I'm finished with you. What the hell is this?
You're gonna tell me about Kevin Taggart whether you want to or not.
I already told you I don't know no Kevin
Don't
Taggart.
jive me, Willie. You pay him and your other little friends to run dope. That's what happened to Kevin, isn't it? Now he's your mule. You sent him out on a delivery. He never came back again. All right, Willie?
You got nothing on me. I'm not holding. You can check me.
I'll do more than that. Tell me what you know about Kevin Taggart, and I'll make you the poorest pusher in New York.
I already told you, lady. I don't know what you're talking about.
Now tell me, Willie. Where did you send Kevin? Tell me!
What do you think when you see that? Do you relate to that? Is that similar to what you think of as your style or a woman's style out there?
To some extent, yeah. I think that all police officers learn to sound tougher than they are.
Really? How do you learn
that's
that?
important. Practice. You know, it's trial and error. You get out there, and that's not the way we relate to people normally on a day-to-day basis. When we want an answer from somebody, we don't push them up against a fence. We don't sound that tough. We aren't that aggressive. And I think that it's just simply getting out there and finding out that if you lose control on the street, it could mean your life.
Yeah.
And so you learn to sound tougher than you really are. But as much as I can identify with her style, I think most of the time I tended to use other tools.
Such
Intellectual tools, my verbal skills. I tried to talk people out of things very, very often. And there have even been times during my career that I cried to get what I wanted.
Wow, and does that work?
Absolutely. You know, 6'4", 220-pound guy who sees this little, 5'8" woman who must have weighed 105 pounds soaking wet, tears streaming down her cheeks. I mean, he turned to me and said, he turned to me and he said, "What's wrong?" And I said, if you don't let me take you to jail, the guys will think I can't do the job, Well,
what you're saying here, though, is the guys will give you a hard time.
I never told the guys that's how I did it. I brought the guy in to the jail, and I dropped him off in a cell, and I sort of swaggered out, into the locker room, and they said, "How'd you bring him in?" And I said, "Hey, he knows I'm tough."
Yeah.
But I'm not ashamed that I did that.
No.
Because I think it's valuable. He was way too big, and I had no backup available to me at the time.
Good for you.
And so I just made that
Well, we're
decision.
proud of you, Gail.
Thank you.
Whatever works.
But I'm not sure. I mean, I wonder how some of these other women have felt about their own styles.
We're going to find that out when we come back. We're going to take a little break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about a little bit more on your style and also about relationships, dating, and things like that. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back with more.
If you've been injured in any sort of accident, there's someone you should turn to right now for legal help. Call United Services Access before you sign anything. Discuss your case for free with a concerned attorney near you. Remember, there are no attorney fees unless you collect money for your injuries. It could be the most important phone call you'll ever make. United Services Access, 780-8899.
Advanced Action Whisk. Ring Around the Collar was just the beginning.
Disc, disc, disc. Whisk, whisk, whisk. Disc, disc, disc. Whisk, whisk, whisk.
Now Whisk gets out stains better than ever. Cleans your whole wash better than ever. Ring Around the Collar was just the beginning.
Disc, disc, disc.
It's the best Whisk ever. Advanced Action.
Whisk, whisk, whisk.
The rites of spring. Now at Rosedale.
Don't miss Health Fair 11. This year you can visit over 100 sites for free screenings for height, weight, vision, blood pressure. Plus, for the first time ever, there's an optional test that can give you breakdowns on both good and bad cholesterol.
So take charge of your health at Health Fair 11 now through April 14th. For more information, call a connection at 922-9000.
Sponsored by the Health One family of hospitals, including United Hospital and St. Croix Valley Memorial Hospital.
We are back. We're talking to police women who work here in the Twin Cities. We were just before we took a break talking about style, and Gail Powacki was sharing with us the way she likes to sometimes reason to get herself out of a difficult situation. And right away, Lori responded with, "I don't really relate to that." And I wanted to touch on that a little bit further. Tell me what you were feeling.
I guess as you're talking about personal style in police work, that's obviously what Gail's style was, but it just isn't my style.
What's yours?
I have a real need to be on a strictly professional level. And not that that isn't professional. I can relate to how she, as a woman, tries to accomplish the things that she's trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And my style is passive also, but not quite that passive. I try to verbally communicate what is going to happen. And I guess if all else failed, I'd probably revert more to the tougher type image rather than going...
rather than tears.
Yeah, I guess I have a real thing with that professional image, and tears, to me, it totally defeats what I'm here for. And
I wonder, do the guys give you guys a lot of grief out there? I mean, that's what I would imagine. Do they?
Again, it depends on the woman. I guess I really have to say that on the patrol, because that's the only department I've worked for, I have not felt the harassment that some other women have felt. But again, I think it's your own level of tolerance, what you feel is teasing, and then what you feel is stepping over the line. And I've had nothing but, really, I have to say, terrific relationships with most all the men that I've worked with.
Grace, I'd like to ask you a little bit about relationships. Now, you are a single woman. Do you find dating, for example, are men, how do they treat you? Do they feel intimidated or insecure around you because of the work you do?
Oh, I think so sometimes. I think that is a problem, but I think also a problem that comes up is when you date people who are not in this profession and they take you somewhere to a party or something like that, they introduce you as a police officer, and you don't necessarily want everyone to know that you're a police officer. So you spend your entire evening listening to someone tell you how they got a ticket doing this or that, and what should they do, and it just ruins your whole evening, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they do that, but people outside of the profession have a tendency to do that. They want to label you in your profession. If you date people within the profession, it's not quite that bad, because they kind of understand that you don't really want everybody to know what you do for a living.
Isn't that it? I wonder if you think that might be because women are sometimes easier to talk to, more approachable, and somebody might not warm up to a man police officer the way they would do a woman. What do you think?
It could be, because I've noticed when I used to work warrants, when I went out to arrest someone, they were more willing to ask me, what can I do to get out of this, or how should I handle this? Whereas the guys, I don't think, got that much. When the guys would go to the door and say, you're under arrest and you're going to jail, they'd just say, okay, and and they're going.
Mm-hmm.
But when I would go there, I would get a lot of questions about, what can I do about this, or how can I take care of it? And
I'd have to agree. I think they think women are much more approachable.
The people in general
Right,
will come up to you with questions or problems.
Right, right.
How about you with dating?
I date someone who's also in the profession, and so far it's going great. So I don't really find that a problem.
That's great. I know Corbin's standing by in the audience right now with some questions from studio audience members. Corbin, are you ready for us?
Thanks, Colleen. Hi, what's your question?
I had a question. It expands a little bit about just what you're talking about in terms of relationships, but I was much more curious about not so much the dating part, but like perhaps relationships with families, relationships with children. I know one of you is a parent for sure, and you all obviously have families. Is it the same kind of situation when you're in a setting of that type? Like you go to a family reunion, you're at church, and it's like, oh, that's, Christine's mother. She's a policeman. Do things change then? Or she's a policewoman, or, in police work, do things change? Do people, are they different around you once they know your profession?
I think so. My parents had a very difficult time with my being a police officer. They were afraid constantly. They wished I would leave. I had a daughter by marriage who was younger at the time, and now she's 21, and she took some teasing. And I can remember us joking one time. Both her parents were police officers, and I can remember her coming home and saying, I'm just going to tell them, yes, indeed, my mother does wear combat boots. It was her way of I guess, finding humor in having to acknowledge she had two parents who were police officers.
Great answer. Thank you very much. You know, what I was wondering is if there's a big change, a psychological change, especially when you first start, between who you are when the uniform is on and who you are when the uniform is off. I mean, did you have to go through some real deep thought on sorting that out?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't have a problem with that, but sometimes I think because I have rank now, I'm a lieutenant, it's a little bit more difficult now than it was when I was a deputy. When I was a deputy, when I was off duty, out of uniform, and I would see people from work, it was no problem. Now, there are times when I run into a deputy from work and I'm shopping or something and they'll say, "Oh, hi, Lieutenant." I don't like people to call me Lieutenant when I'm in jeans and a sweatshirt, you know. But they feel a little uncomfortable because that's what they call me at work. And it makes me more conscious of the fact that I am a lieutenant.
Well, I think in the uniform you command a lot of respect, and even when you're out of the uniform, if people know that's what you do, they still respect you a lot. So I think that's probably a compliment. I've got another question out here. Hi.
Well, I think everybody has had a ticket at one time or another. I mean, have been stopped by a police officer. I was just wondering, what was the most unusual excuse not to get the ticket?
Good question. Who wants to field that one?
I guess sometimes you could just write a book about some of the excuses you get, but and I think every single one of us have had lots of excuses. You don't really remember them. The ones I remember as most common are my speedometer is broken. You know, that's always one. But most unusual, I guess I can't think of any one that. Usually people aren't that quick, but you know, they're usually the same ones over and over again. But
well, you know, you guys are terrific, and thank you for coming on and sharing this part of your lives with us, because we really appreciate it. Gail, of course, we'll see you on Channel 11 News, and we'll see you back in just a minute. Oh, and a reminder, Duchess of Dish, Carol Conley's coming up very soon, so stay with us.
That's right, and we're going to check out what's news with Pat Miles right after this.
If you were on the road at all today, you probably encountered a scene like this one in St. Paul as road construction projects officially kicked off Minnesota's other season. And there was plenty going on in Minneapolis today with a massive project getting underway. Coming up at 5, we'll tell you how long these projects will last and how you can avoid the tie-ups that they are going to create.
A lot of accident claims never get a fair hearing because many people think you have to be rich to have a lawyer. But it can cost you plenty to settle your own claim, and you don't have to. At Hyatt Legal Services, we took the fear out of legal fees. Before you sign something you don't understand, come in and talk to one of our lawyers. We'll help you fight for what you're entitled to. I'm Joel Hyatt, and you have my word on it. We took the fear out of legal fees across the country and in your neighborhood.
Looky here.
Excuse me.
Uh-oh. Diane's young new beau has old Sammy in a fit on the next Cheers.
Monday at 10:35 on KARE 11.
Okay.
We'd like to introduce you to PB Max. Now that don't mean Pretty Boy Max, or Max's Performing Bear, or Maximilian's Purple Bandoleros. The PB means peanut butter. Real peanut butter. Lots of real peanut butter. In pure milk chocolate with the crunch of a whole grain cookie. Now that's maximum satisfaction. Even if you're as big as Paul Bunyan, you'll pat your belly. Look for 6 packs of PB Max. We mean peanut butter.
It took me about 6 months. I was his favorite date.
Zsa Zsa Gabor is famous for the many men and marriages in her life. But there's one relationship she'd like to keep out of the press spotlight. On the next Entertainment Tonight, get the inside story and the alleged affair between Zsa Zsa and JFK.
She said that Jack Kennedy was a great lover.
Well, he only wanted to write that Jack Kennedy and I slept together.
The inside stories on Entertainment Tonight.
Monday at 6:30 on KARE 11.
Joined me here on the Between Friends set, and Pat,
why?
tell me what's going on with the news tonight. You're going to update us here.
Well, for one thing, Between Friends started today. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks.
Corbin. Are you guys excited about this?
Well, we're still breathing, and so I guess everything's fine. We've had a good audience today.
Well, of
so
course,
it's been
everybody
fun.
wants to know, were you nervous?
Well, I guess we were a little nervous, but everybody was so warm and welcoming, and this set is so warm and welcoming. We felt like we were in our own home.
Yeah, you
so
do.
It made
You
it
have
easy.
a nice little place here. Well, in the news, coming up at 5, we're going to talk about really 2 stories that are fairly major today. And on Mondays, as you know, it's usually a slow day. But for one thing, the census had to be turned in. Your forms were supposed to be turned in yesterday, although they are saying now that they're going to extend that deadline. I don't know about you, but I didn't get one in the mail.
I didn't either. You know, I was thinking about that. How do they decide who they choose and who they don't?
Well, you're supposed to get one, and as it turns out, if you
Should I take this personally? If I
No, but I did. If you didn't get one, and I'm going to do this as well, there is a number you can call. It is 1-800-999-1990. Easy enough to remember.
Easy.
So if you didn't get a census form and you want to be counted, you can call that number. They're open Monday through Friday between the hours of 9 and 9. Now, the other big story, you would think, because we had a light year this year with the snow
and weather,
and they didn't salt the roads as much, that we wouldn't have as much road construction. But we are going to spend a record $550 million
Is that
on
right?
road construction, and today is the first day of that. Now I'm going to give you just a brief summary of where not to drive your car.
For the next 6 months.
Yes. Lake Street and Lagoon are going to become one-way streets, and they're going to start that construction, and it will not be done, if you can believe it, until August. So an already congested area is even going to be more congested as a result of that. Now, if you live in St. Paul, 2 areas to watch out for. 12th Street ramp to westbound 94 will be closed until July, and the ramp connecting southbound 35E to 94 will be closed until late 1992. So, 'tis the season.
So just stay home. Well, they say that we have, you know, whatever, how many seasons, and one of them is road construction. We'll be right back right after this. Thanks, Pat.
You're welcome.
Carol Conley's coming up. Stay with us.
So, your wife wanted new furniture, but you said no. You better do something. Call Home Furniture Rental. Home Furniture Rental has the Twin Cities' largest selection of rental furniture, color TVs, and stereos. Right now, Home Furniture Rental has this beautiful living room set for just $59 per month. Or enjoy this dining room set for just $29. Call now. Home Furniture Rental. Lake Street, Minneapolis, University Avenue, St. Paul.
We used to shop, and Mom would never buy anything for herself because she didn't feel that it looked nice on her. I don't think my mom realizes how good she looks now.
The program that Jenny Craig has designed really works.
People used to always ask me, oh, how old is your mom? She looks so young. But now they see her and they say, that's your mom? She looks so great.
Lose all the weight you want for a $195 service fee or up to 20 pounds for a $99 service fee. Call The Connection.
In Hawaii, there's always a breeze. Every garden has a bird of paradise. When the sun stops shining, rainbows come out, and life is fresh and sweet. Which is why Hawaii is the only place we grow sugar cane for CNH, and why everything you bake with CNH is fresh as it can be.
CNH, pure cane sugar.
CNH, fresh from Hawaii.
Well, after raising 9 children, the thing that I miss most now is holding and cuddling a baby. And one night I saw Channel 11's Volunteer Connection and thought I'd give them a call and see if I might have an opportunity to volunteer and hold and cuddle a baby again.
Hundreds of people like Donald Williams recently pledged a total of more than 100,000 hours during KARE 11's Volunteer Connection campaign. You can help too. Call today.
Call Pioneer Press, then chances are you read Carol Conley's column. And if you don't get that paper, chances are you hear about what she's already written about. Carol is here with us right now, and she is going to tell us what the movers and shakers in the Twin Cities are doing and all the inside scoop. Welcome, Carol.
How are you?
Hey,
Good to see
Carol.
you both.
Fine,
Here's
fine, fine.
inside dirt from Rochester.
Well, you,
A
Rochester,
tipster,
Minnesota.
Rochester, Minnesota. A tipster spotted, guess who? Tammy Faye Baker.
She's back.
Shopping at TJ Maxx, browsing the blouse rack.
I thought I saw her.
Yeah.
Wasn't that
Were
the
you
one
in
you were fighting
Rochester?
over the blouse?
My tipster says her eyelashes called her name to me.
What size does she wear? Don't you want to know what size she
Mile
wears?
high, mile long, mile wide. She looked like she was going incognito. She was wearing a long strawberry blonde wig.
Is that right?
Very simple duds. And she was definitely browsing the
Going for the
blouse
real
rack.
bargains.
Now, my tipster said, how the mighty have fallen. I said, I don't think so. I remember Tammy Faye at the height of her infamy saying, they accused me of shopping. I only shop at TJ Maxx.
I remember that too. She loves to go there. So she seeks them out all over the country, and of course that's where Jim is.
I love to go there too. Do you?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yes, and everything is discounted. It's a wonderful deal. Well, Jimmy, as you know, is in the Slammer in Rochester, which is why I'm sure she was there.
Just spit it right out, in the Slammer.
Yes,
Thank you,
in
Carol.
the Slammer, and for, I don't know, 157 years or something, the poor dear. What I do know about him is that he's taking a jewelry making class from a primo jeweler whose name is Ted Huffman. And I think the great incongruity of that is that Ted recently had a lot of jewelry on display at the Gay 90s for an AIDS benefit. And you know what Jimmy thinks about all of that.
So that's his new
teacher. I'm sure the bills will go down, though, on the jewelry because he's going to be cranking out this good stuff.
Nice. Everybody wants a husband who makes jewelry, don't you?
Yeah, so
great
makes
idea.
enough money to buy jewelry. I don't know. That might be better.
Great for Tammy Faye with her TJ Maxx stuff and her husband-made jewelry. She's in good shape.
True. She was not wearing dark glasses, however, because they wouldn't possibly have fit over her eyelashes. We love having you in Minnesota, however, Tammy. Keep coming back. Now, a Minnesotan who recently left briefly is Mary Bowman, who is the mother of Julia Duffy, who is, as she says, her mother says, the ditzy maid Stephanie on Bob Newhart.
She's good on that show with the long blonde hair.
Mary's
Kind of
pretty
kooky.
She's from here, grew up in Minneapolis. Mary's pretty impressive herself since she raised 4 daughters alone. They're all very successful. She was flown by Family Circle magazine to Los Angeles. Picked up in a limo. She said this riding on the back of a limo is the good life.
She's going to start thinking about doing that here.
Exactly. Julia said, don't get too excited. It's not an overly sophisticated magazine. It'll probably be you on the inside and chocolate cake on the cover. Mary said she's wrong. There's chocolate cake on the cover this month, so it won't be in the issue that she's in, which is May, the Mother's Day issue.
And what are they doing with her?
It's a feature about TV moms and their moms. And the other people featured with her are Patti LuPone, who I think is in, oh, I don't know, what is she in? Some hot series.
I don't know.
And,
I'm terrible with names.
And somebody from Designing Woman.
Oh, I love that show.
But I do
Life Goes On.
That's it. Yes, right. You win. You win. Anyway, Julia Duffy is an amazing woman, and all of you, Julia Duffy Bowman, and all of you St. Paul Duffys will be happy to know that your relative is doing good things.
That's
They're also going, the whole family is going, except for one sister who's staying in St. Paul, is going to the show on next Sunday for the final wrap of the final Bob Newhart show. And I hear that the press, it's going off the air. This is it, the end. I mean, we'll probably be seeing it for the rest of our lives, but this is the last segment that's going to be shot.
It's a good show, though. It's a delightful show.
It is a delightful show. And Bob Newhart must be a swell guy because I guess the press have been stepping on each other's throats trying to get into the set, and he says, no way, it's going to be an emotional time for everybody on the show, and they don't want to be bothered with a lot of nosy reporters. No one we know, of course. Now
they haven't called you and said, come on down, Carol?
No, they haven't. And they haven't said stay away either, which is probably good. Now, there is a film being shot in the Twin Cities, as you know, called Strangers Within, starring Kate Jansen. Kate Jansen, who is she?
Well, I know. I was going to say, I don't know that person. Not much of a star.
Kate Jackson, Ricky Schroeder,
from Charlie's
Chris
Angels.
Sarandon. Yes.
I mean, she's done much since then, bless her heart.
Ricky Schroeder from Silver Spoons or something, and Chris Sarandon from somewhere.
Ricky Schroeder was on the air last night in that Youngest Hero thing. It was a big TV. Yeah, it was great.
I understand he travels with his parents, which I think is pretty interesting since he's 19.
You know what I think is so neat? It seems as more and more movies are being made right up here in Minneapolis.
True. Thanks to the Minnesota Film Board, I think, in great part.
They've really been promoting the state.
What's funny about Strangers Within is that these people are all from Los Angeles, so they're so paranoid that we are going to be following them around. Everything is top secret. Don't tell where they are. Don't tell who's doing their hair. Don't tell anything. I did hear, however, that an extra who, Ricky Schroeder dies during the film. You didn't hear it from me. An extra who has to play him
Mom
dead.
is the word out there.
An extra who plays him as a dead person had to lay on the ice at White Bear Lake for a whole day.
That's a bad job,
Oh,
to lay on
dear.
the ice of White Bear Lake for a day.
We
don't want to do that for Walk a Mile in my shoes.
I think it's pretty hysterical that they are nervous about people at White Bear like following them around, because there would be about 3 people, I think, in White Bear who would be interested in following them around.
Exactly.
And they're all away at school.
Yeah, they live there by the ice. What do they care, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So be watching for that movie, a CBS Movie of the Week, which will be out in, I believe, early autumn, made here, right on our own home
Fun
turf.
to see the home locations and spot places and say, oh, I've been there.
Absolutely, and you'll know that you're seeing White Bear, even though they're not going to tell you that that's what you're seeing.
All right, that's about it for today, I think.
Well, good to see you both.
Good
to see you both. Now, anyone
That's a good
who has
stuff.
any dirt they want repeated, you know, including you two, let me know.
Well, and even if it's not dirt, but it could be something just fun and entertaining and interesting. Yeah,
well, we
we'd love
use
to
the
tell you
word
about
dirt
it.
very loosely, as you know.
That's right. It's hard to get dirt in Minnesota. That's the St. Paul Pioneer Press and Carol Conley. Carol, thank you again for coming.
Thank you.
And coming up next, we will see Colleen take over the Heartthrob Cafe and the Walk a Mile Challenge.
Attention seafood lovers. For just $4.99 at Embers, we'll serve you all the tender, delicious peanut shrimp you care to eat. All you care to eat shrimp special, only $4.99 for a limited time. Remember the Embers. Choices, choices, choices. For a limited time, every fabulous breakfast entree at Embers is just $2.99. It's your choice. $2.99 for any breakfast entree. Remember the Embers. You'll be glad you did.
As a home builder, I know the importance of trees to the environment. As a forester, I know the value of trees in an urban or rural setting.
I like trees too because they do so much for us.
Help us preserve our forests by volunteering to plant seedlings April 21st and 22nd at area parks. Volunteers are still needed for Ramsey County. Call 777-0393 for more information. Sponsored by the Twin Cities Housing Council, Hennepin and Ramsey Parks, and KARE 11.
If you've been seriously injured in an accident, the law limits the time you have to take legal action. Now, if you delay, you could lose your right to receive payment for your injuries. Call the Injury Helpline. Talk to an attorney near you for free, one who will explain your legal rights and costs. There are no attorney fees unless you receive payment for your injuries. Time may be running out. The insurance companies have attorneys working hard on their side, and so should you. Call 1-800-533-2700.
The KARE 11 Bike Classic is just a really good way to meet a lot of really fun people.
Everybody can do it. It's not a race, and it's just a ride, and you can take your time. You get in shape, you help a great cause, and you have a lot of fun doing it.
Ride in the all-new KARE 11 Bike Classic to St. Cloud and back. Support the family of Health One hospitals and have a great time, too. Pick up your KARE 11 Bike Classic brochure at any Tom Thumb store. Do it right now. Special thanks to Northwest Airlines and Target stores for their generous support.
Corby was just telling me that her husband sent her a lunch today.
He packed me a lunch today. I came in and it was all ready, and he tucked it in the bag, and the most important part, he'd put in some donuts. In case I needed a little lift.
I was going to say, I'm going to steal one of those donuts afterwards.
I'll share with you.
It's time for our Walk a Mile Challenge, and this is something every week, or every so often, I guess, we are going to take on your job for a day. So if you have a job that's difficult or unusual or fun, you can drop us a line. We'll tell you how to do that later. First of all, we want to tell you what happened. We went to the Heartthrob Cafe. It's a restaurant in downtown St. Paul. Many of you have been there. If you haven't been there, it's a blast. They play 50s music, and they have kind of the 50s decor, the old-fashioned soda fountain. The waiters and waitresses there are a scream. These people have tons of energy. They love their job, and they do their job on rollerblades. I know. I am crazy. I put on the rollerblades and decided to give this a go. I had the time of my life, and I'd like to share it with you. Take a look.
Hi, nerd. Are we ready to order?
Hi, gang.
Hi. Hi.
I'm Colleen. I'm your waitress.
Okay.
I'm very new at this.
Oh.
This is fun. Do we put a cherry in there, cherry Coke? All right, I shall return.
We need runners.
Oh, We can do that. We can run. We can run. We're runners. I'm picking up speed. Sure, I can take 2.
Where's that one?
Do these
go? That goes to the counter.
What about those brakes? Got your diet and your iced tea. Oh, 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 oh! Whoa! Yeah! Oh, I'm so embarrassed.
I was worried about my suit.
I know. I was worried about your suit. Oh no, I'm sorry.
No problem.
Surf's up, guys. What are we doing? This is work. It's fun work, but it's work.
I think she should put on her skates, she should have on the stoppers on the front and the back on both skates. I think she should take her skates off.
Your table's dirty.
What?
I want to leave that for the other
Oh, that's
server,
my
though.
job?
Yeah.
I'm on break.
The cup's empty. You need to fill that.
I'm on break.
Oh, we don't get. Oh, we got money on the.
You don't get breaks. Oh, we do have money. Ah. Oh my. Great job. Great job. I want to know how much money she picked up off that table.
How were the tips that day, Colleen?
$5 a table, which isn't bad. They don't put stoppers on those rollerblades.
You know, did you?
know,
You look like you
they're supposed to
earned
put
every
the stopper
penny.
on the front of the thing. No stoppers on
Every
those
penny
things.
of the tip.
Well, we did. They work so hard. I mean, after one dance, you're exhausted. I do one dance, I'm like, okay, I'm going home.
I
mean,
like that guy who said, I was worried about my suit. I thought he should have been worried about his life.
Exactly. Well, it was fun. And if you would like to challenge us to take on your job, we have an address where you can write us. Make it easy.
Yeah, make the job
No
easy,
roller
right?
skates. Send it to Between Friends, P.O. Box 111, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55440.
That's right. And if you would like to be a part of our studio audience, we'd love to have you come down and have some fun with us. You can call for audience tickets, and the number is 593-9211. And do not forget about the licensed child care that is provided by Club Kid.
That's right. Coming up on tomorrow's show, we're going to go and actually find out what your favorite past anchor people are up to these days.
That's right, and we're going to take you to a real jewel of a restaurant, the kind that you feel is yours and yours alone. And here it is. This is quite the place, very exotic. And we're going to tell you all about it tomorrow, so you're going to have to tune in and find out where it is, what it is, and how to get there.
You know what's great about that? We all have our favorite little hole-in-the-wall restaurant, but you don't want to tell anybody about it for fear that everybody's going to find out and everybody's going to go.
Well, this is one of those deals. Also, tomorrow, we're going to talk about gardening, because it is definitely trying to be spring here in the Twin Cities. And if you've looked at your lawn lately, it's pretty brown.
That's right.
Ours looks pretty bad at home, but we're going to give you some tips on how to kind of get that lawn rolling and get it ready for spring.
Get the gardens ready and get your lawns ready and all that kind of stuff. So it should be great fun. We have had a terrific time.
Yeah, we've had a great time. It's been a lot of fun. Thank all of you in the audience, because it's been fun having you here, and all of you at home. And tune in tomorrow.
Yeah, take care.
Bye, everybody.
Licensed childcare for our audience provided by Club Kid, an hourly childcare adventure. 3 locations in Roseville, Edina, and Minnetonka. Colleen and Corbin's wardrobe provided by FYI at Dayton's. Set decoration and furnishings provided by Durr Limited in Edina.
This is a show about Between Friends, and I'm going to tell you about it before it ends. It's with two ladies you know, Colleen and Corbin. Ho.